Jotaro Kujo and Satoru Gojo, the poster boys of their respective universes and deemed as some of the strongest characters within them. Both of these characters are often relied upon for their experience fighting the supernatural, their wisdom and experience, and most importantly, their raw strength. Jotaro Kujo with his stand Star Platinum, and Satoru Gojo with his curse technique of infinity. To get some of the things out of the way first, I wanted to talk about this thing called verse equalization. Essentially, when two different characters are pitted against each other and the power systems of their universes are different, so for the sake of the argument, they are equalized. An example is how when Gojo is pitted against Makima, people want to equalize the verse and make devils and cursed spirits essentially the same, but I don't really see a purpose to that. JJK and JoJo have their power systems based on the supernatural, ghosts and spirits. Their abilities are based on that. Gojo can 100% interact with his stand, and Jotaro can 100% interact with cursed energy. There's no need to equalize their verse if they're so similar. You don't need to give Mob cursed energy to fight Mahoraga, for example, because Mahoraga is a spirit and Mob fights them. Stands are a reflection of the user's soul and can interact with such. With my Godzilla vs. Gojo video, obviously you're going to have to assume Godzilla has cursed energy like every being in JJK, but there's no need to make Godzilla be able to absorb cursed energy like its radiation or give him a cursed technique. Whether you want to pick characters from JoJo or JJK or Dandadan, Mob Psycho, Hunter x Hunter, there's no need to try to equalize their verses. Now that we got that out of the way, we will be using Jotaro and Star Platinum in their prime, meaning that it can be full-grown Jotaro with his time stop still at 5 seconds, and his durability is not lowered to a D, but for appearance sake he can still look like Part 3. Star Platinum is seen as the pinnacle of a stand's physical strength and the pinnacle of the verse. I'd even say he's the strongest stand. Of course there's Tusk Act 4, Gold Experience Requiem, Made in Heaven, but I mean that I'd say Star Platinum is probably the physically strongest stand in JoJo. Of course stands like King Crimson and D4C have an A in strength, but stands get stronger the more you use them, and because he's been using Star Platinum for decades, I'd say he's definitely gotten physically stronger throughout the years, already being at least the same level of the other A-ranked combat stands and should physically be stronger than them because of his usage. Star Platinum is a close-range combat stand prioritizing strength, speed, and precision, arguably the best hand-to-hand combat stand in JoJo. His first encounter, he pushed back Muhammad Abdal's Magician's Red who was restraining Jotaro fairly easily. Of course Magician's Red relies on fire, but it is not a physically weak stand at all. Physically, he overpowered Cameo who has a B in power. Stands, even when they're lower ranked, are still pretty strong. Moody Blues, who is a strength C, was able to smash stone and carve a sculpture of Diavolo's face in such a short amount of time. Golden Experience is a C and is also a combat type, being able to casually smash apart people, other stands, and was able to match Sticky Fingers, who has an A in strength, and casually punch cars so hard that they flew in the air. And of course Star Platinum should be much stronger. While holding back, he punched Hierophant Green through a stone ceiling, smashing through it and causing heavy damage to the building, which I would put at small building level. When he and the other Crusaders were speeding towards a semi-truck, Star Platinum was able to casually punch it so hard that it flung the truck in the air, which should at least be a couple tons. Later on, he was able to hold the weight of the same truck with all the minutes in the air and yank the truck back up the cliff. His more higher end strength feats involve his fight with an amped Dio. Dio dropped an entire road roller on Jotaro from dozens of feet in the air, and Star Platinum stopped it with his fist. He would then match Dio and the world's combined punches to try to force the road roller off of them. It would seem like he was overpowered, but Jotaro actually allowed the road roller to fall right after they were able to escape it. That steamroller must have weighed around 60 tons. Now in a time stop, he can manipulate objects as if they were in zero gravity, but these objects still have weight to them. Within 5 seconds, Dio was able to find the road roller, lift it, carry it to Jotaro, and launched it in the air, lugging around a 60-ton road roller in 5 seconds, with Star Platinum still being able to withstand over 60 tons being smashed on him and completely stop it, but also break Dio's body and even destroy the world. On to what could be Star Platinum's highest strength feat is when he lifted High Priestess' teeth and shattered all her teeth, which were described as harder than diamond. The lifting feat was calculated on Versus Battle Wiki, calculating it around 113 tons that Star Platinum pushed off. As for when he shattered her teeth, this feat has multiple calcs to it. Another from Versus Battle Wiki calcing it at 327 tons or multi-city block level. However, I have seen Star Platinum's strength in a million ton ranges. Death Battle, yes, I'm referencing them, and another from Shuckmeister. Death Battle calculated it at around 300 million tons of force, while Shuckmeister calculated it around over 8 million tons, which is 8 megatons of force. If you want to lowball Jotaro, then he's around multi-city block level, but if you want to really highball him, then he's around the small city to city level. I'll still be considering either option of him being a multi-hundred tonner to a million tonner against his fight with Gojo. His speed is another big part of his ability. He's known for his speed and precision with an A in both of them. His first showing, he was already hypersonic by catching a bullet basically point blank. He can sketch accurate portrayals from barely visible pictures, which having amazing telescopic to microscopic vision includes. Because you can scale stands together, whatever a feat a stand does, it can scale to others. Crazy Diamond is at least massively hypersonic by withstanding a barrage of gunfire from Keicho's stand, a colony type stand with soldiers, machine guns, and tanks. He was eventually overpowered, but he still clocks at least massively hypersonic from being able to punch away those bullets seemingly individually. Silver Chariot is an incredibly fast stand. The Hanged Man is a stand that can travel from reflections in the form of light. Polnareff was able to direct his path to one area and strike him down before he could reach it at light speed, making Silver Chariot at the very least light speed to faster than light. Star Platinum would fight Silver Chariot on par, and even after smashing his shoulder armor, making him faster, was still able to fight on par with him for an extended period, making him massively faster than light. He's also confirmed to be FTL. He's got super lungs that were able to inhale Justice's fog, which covered around a town, I believe, and his star finger has been used for extra precision and more range, being able to break Silver Chariot's armor and piercing Dark Blue Moon's head, which has a B in durability. Star Platinum's main ability is his time stop, The World, being able to stop time for 5 seconds, just like Dio's stand ability, The World. Because of his quick reaction, both Dio and Jotaro can do a lot within those 5 seconds. Yes, it's definitely just cinematic timing, but being able to ponder and move around that much within those 5 seconds, you have to be able to think and move insanely fast. There is a draw, in which there needs to be a cooldown time. Dio was able to spam it because he's a vampire, but not Jotaro. Even in his diminished 2 seconds, Jotaro was able to conversate, move the distance between them and Kira, and unleash a combo on him. He was also able to stop time and pluck out the bullet that struck Josuke before the poison could affect him. So they're an incredibly well-versed stand and stand user. There's of course the drawbacks of Star Platinum's limited range and the fact that if Jotaro or Star Platinum get injured, the damage affects them both. Though Star Platinum and Jotaro are pretty tough, stands enhance their users physically. When Koichi was affected by Golden Experience's ability, he was crushed into the concrete. There's no way a Koichi without a stand would have withstood that. Many other characters survive life-threatening injuries and turn out fine, Jotaro included, with how many times he's been cut, stabbed, shot at, and was able to continue the fight as usual. So for destructive capability, Star Platinum at a low ball is multi-city block level, and at a high ball around city level. His durability should match too, and his speed is faster than light to massively faster than light. And he has his various abilities such as his eyesight, star finger, and his time stop. But will all these stats be able to take on the strongest sorcerer in the modern day? Satoru Gojo is among the strongest to the strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen. Wielding both the Limitless technique and the Six Eyes, he was born as the strongest of the Jujutsu world, to the point that his birth caused a shift within it, with sorcerers and cursed spears trying to become stronger to match him. The Limitless technique basically controls the concepts of infinity, bringing it to reality to control space even at an atomic level. Many people try to overcomplicate it, like how a lot of people overcomplicate Golden Experience Requiem and King Crimson's abilities. His infinity is essentially a force field, but instead of a physical wall, it's made of infinity. It slows down any attack to an infinite degree. If you try to punch him, your fist will slow down infinitely and never reach him. Kind of like the Green Baby's ability, but instead of shrinking down infinitely, you're just slowing down infinitely. He can also float and teleport with it too. His second ability is his Lapse Blue. basically bringing negative numbers and negative distance into reality, infinitely converging space into a single point, forcing real space to compensate and fill in the area by drawing everything within it, resembling an orb that acts like either a magnet or a black hole, essentially attraction to an infinite degree. It can be used to bring two objects to smash into each other, manipulate debris around the battlefield like he did during his fight with Sukuna, Mahoraga, and merged beast Agito. He can use blue to make his strike a lot stronger by pulling his fist towards a target with a lot more force. He used his technique on Agito and would use it to destroy Agito with it. His other technique utilizes positive energy. Curse energy is negative energy, but when you multiply it against itself, it forms positive energy, creating a secondary attack called the Reversal Red, bringing positive numbers of infinity into reality. Where Lab's blue had infinite attraction, red has infinite repulsion, the exact opposite. Red has twice the energy output as blue. When Gojo first used it against Toji, he was able to send Toji smashing into a building at high speed by hitting his inverted spear of heaven, the same spear that pierced through his infinity. It can easily one-shot gigantic cursed spirits and the building behind them, harm Sukuna, and cause massive damage to the area. When Gojo combines the divergence and convergence of infinity, it creates the Hollow Purple, Gojo's most powerful offensive attack, creating an imaginary mass that deals immense damage to the target, much more than blue or red. Being able to carve through a forest, one-shot Toji, destroy a city, and Mahoraga included. The same Mahoraga who withstood every single attack Sukuna threw at him, even his malevolent shrine. But because you need to strike Mahoraga before he adapts, he was one-shotted by Sukuna's flame. But since Mahoraga adapts to anything, and does now scale higher because he's being controlled by Sukuna, he's even stronger. Stronger than the flame, which was stronger than Jogo's small city level maximum meteor, and when it was deployed, it destroyed a massive part of Shibuya. This was when Mahoraga was weaker. And this Hollow Purple destroyed an amped Mahoraga. His most scariest ability is his domain expansion, Infinite Void, a sure hit domain that entraps both Gojo and the target in it, whereas many other domain expansions are physical attacks, like Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine. This is a mental attack, flooding the target's mind with an infinite amount of knowledge, overwhelming their brains and their senses, feeling everything but feeling nothing at the same time. So much knowledge but can't do anything with it because they're paralyzed from an overload of information. The only thing they can do is succumb to it. Now, to use such a powerful ability like the Limitless requires an amazing user. Not only is Gojo amazing at using his curse techniques, he has the Six Eyes, an inherited ability passed down from the Gojo clan. It gives the user the best eyesight imaginable, making their eyes comparable to an HD infrared camera, making them be able to see through things like Gojo's blindfold. They can see miles away and still tell apart different objects. They can see the flow of cursed energy and give Gojo the ability to read someone's curse technique and how it works, along with knowing the different types of cursed energy, even being able to tell when an object lacks cursed energy. This ability allows Gojo to have the best control over his cursed energy down to the atomic level, giving the strongest technique of the verse the best control. There are other skills that Gojo has and others that sorcerers naturally have. For example, Reverse Curse Technique, using positive energy, which is what Reversal Red is composed of, it regenerates the user's body. It can even heal others like what Yuta did to Maki and Inumaki. Being so potent, Gojo can regenerate organs and entire limbs in just seconds. It is also able to repair brain damage. Gojo has Limitless automatically on 24/7. That type of energy output would fry any other sorcerer's brain, but Gojo has RCT automatically on to repair his brain around the clock, seemingly with no side effects. There's several techniques that most sorcerers know, such as these simple domain techniques, used to protect themselves from a domain's sure hit ability, but we won't be talking about those since Jotaro doesn't have a domain expansion. There is, however, the Black Flash, a phenomenon that occurs when a sorcerer applies curse energy within 0.000001 seconds when they deliver an attack, causing a spatial distortion that amplifies the attack to the power of 2.5. A sorcerer can't do it intentionally, but they can get pretty lucky and land multiple. And when they do, Nanami describes it as a sorcerer entering a state athletes call the zone, where the manipulation of cursed energy seems to flow and becomes as natural as breathing. This also replenishes cursed energy as well. Physicality-wise, Gojo is insanely strong. He easily overpowered Miguel while holding back. He can casually crush and tear apart disaster spirits like Jogo and Hanami. And just like any other sorcerer, he can enhance his body with curse energy. 15th Finger Sukuna easily overpowered Jogo, who was burning down Shibuya. Jogo's maximum meteor was also small city level 2. Sukuna one-shotted Jogo with his Divine Flame, and to one-shot someone, it needs to be a power difference of around 10 times. He would then fight Mahoraga, and throughout the fight, large buildings were literally being flung around, and Sukuna still easily fought on par with Mahoraga, was never injured by him, and overpowered him physically. Also one-shotting Mahoraga with the Divine Flame, the same Divine Flame that one-shotted Jogo, and when he shot Mahoraga, this flame would burn down a large part of Shibuya. Because Sukuna took over Megumi's body, and he enhanced Megumi's 10 shadows, making them stronger, including Mahoraga, Gojo easily fought on par with Sukuna, and I would say even overpowering him at times as well, smashing apart buildings and throwing him around right through them. He still fought on par with Sukuna and amped Mahoraga and easily overpowered Merch Beast Agito. Physically, he's among the strongest of the verse, right next to Sukuna. For speed, he's around massively hypersonic. Hikari was able to react to Kashimo's lightning, being able to move in time to avoid his head getting blasted off. There was also when Toji slightly reacted to electricity, and I would say Gojo at this point should be around, physically, Toji's level. Since Gojo scales above every other character and scales with Sukuna, he's definitely at least massively hypersonic. Even more now since it's confirmed that other sorcerers with their speed feats are even faster. His durability should at least match his physicality, and I do believe that it should match his attack potency. Gojo's AP is a bit iffy. He should scale above everyone else besides Sukuna, but there's a lot of scaling that needs to be used. With his Hollow Purple, I would put it at the very least city level, the very least, since it was a hell of a lot stronger than Sukuna's Divine Flame that one-shotted Mahoraga, and Gojo would one-shot and amped Mahoraga. And because you need to be 10 times stronger than your opponent to one-shot them, I think Hollow Purple should be around city level to large city level, even multi-large city level possibly. There is the character Dagon, who created an entire island of cursed energy, putting Gojo above island level. So his destructive power should be around city level at a low ball to island level at a high ball. His durability matches and his speed should be around massively hypersonic. He has his other abilities like being able to actually see and interact with Star Platinum, his RCT, his cursed techniques, domain expansion, and Hollow Purple. So I've seen a lot of fans split on who would win between the two. Many say Jotaro because of his time stop and Star Platinum's physicality. Many say Gojo because of his infinity and domain expansion. A lot of it is concluded to things like a one-shot, but I don't think it is. I believe that Satoru Gojo will win, but I don't think it's easy. Gojo can definitely see and interact with Star Platinum. Curse energy and stand ability are similar. They interact with the soul, so there should be no reason that if Jotaro was in JJK, he can't see a cursed spirit, and no reason if Gojo was in JoJo, he can't see a stand. Gojo can definitely match with Star Platinum, whether he's multi-city block level to even large city level. Gojo is still at the very least city level because of his Hollow Purple, and he should scale to it. He's gonna be able to match blows with Star Platinum, but his speed is a whole different story. Star Platinum is leagues faster than Gojo, and Jotaro should be faster as well. Gojo has been outsped before. Yes, it was when he was younger by Toji, but still. He's not immune to characters that are faster than him. The time stop also won't allow for Gojo to land all of his hits, but attacks still happen during a time stop. Joseph's Hamon was still active when Dio stopped time, so Gojo's Infinity is still going to be active during the time stop. And yes, stands are able to phase through solid objects, but the whole point of Infinity is that nothing is even gonna touch it. Attacks don't even land on the Infinity, it literally just slows it down. Like, if you hit the Infinity with a hammer, it won't even connect because you've slowed down to an infinite degree. The whole reason Sukuna and Gojo were able to fist fight was because Sukuna was able to master simple domain that's capable of nullifying another technique. This, alongside Gojo avoiding to use it with Mahoraga to prevent Mahoraga from adapting to it, is why Sukuna was able to even touch Gojo, but Jotaro won't be able to get past Gojo's Infinity whatsoever. If Gojo for some reason took it off, like if Jotaro was fighting Teen Gojo, it would be a different story. Should I make a video on that? Part 3 Jotaro vs Teen Gojo? Anyways, there's seemingly no way for Jotaro to even harm Gojo. Even if he got past Gojo's Infinity, Gojo can still physically match Star Platinum, but Star Platinum's speed and strength will certainly cause damage to Gojo, except for the fact that he has RCT and will just instantly regenerate. And if he lands a Black Flash on either Jotaro or Star Platinum, it's basically game over. Star Platinum can certainly defend Jotaro from Gojo's other techniques, and because of his FTL speed, Jotaro is able to avoid the lapse blue and reversal red, possibly maybe even a hollow purple. If Gojo attempts to enhance his strike with the lapse blue, Star Platinum can 100% either move Jojo out the way or just straight up match him. A lot of times, Jotaro's time stop won't be needed for things like evasion during this match, and overall, the time stop really has no effect on this fight. Evasion of course, but no offense at all. He just can't get through Gojo's infinity, but like I said, if Gojo decides to turn off his infinity, or if he's fighting Teen Gojo, it's a different story. Of course, Prime Gojo without his infinity will still win, but he'll still be taking a lot more damage. Now onto what many fans say is Gojo's #1 shot to beat Jotaro, his domain expansion Unlimited Void. There's scenario 1, where Jotaro does have curse energy if you want to give him that. Then scenario 2, Jotaro not having curse energy, thus unaffected by the Unlimited Void. For scenario 1, if Jotaro has cursed energy, he would certainly be affected and rendered immobile by the Unlimited Void. But what about Star Platinum? There's the rule that if a stand gets harmed, so does the user and vice versa. It certainly applies to Star Platinum, but not that much for Jotaro. Jotaro has been injured many times, and Star Platinum hasn't shown to be damaged. And I completely doubt all of these moments are just Araki forgot moments. He's been mangled by sheer heart attack, and when he brought out Star Platinum, it was in perfect condition to overpower Killer Queen. So even if Jotaro does get unaffected by the Unlimited Void, I completely doubt Star Platinum will. Now yes, Star Platinum is the manifestation of someone's soul, but he's not a cursed spirit with a brain. Star Platinum would still be able to fight and aid Jotaro while he's immobile. Granted, Gojo's still gonna win, but still. For scenario 2, Jotaro not having cursed energy, it certainly removes Gojo's one-shot of his domain expansion, rendering it useless. Yes, Gojo does win, but I wanted to talk about the other reasons people were giving of either side winning. Gojo can't affect Jojo with his Unlimited Void, and Jojo simply can't bypass his infinity. And even if he did, Gojo still matches Star Platinum, and whatever damage he receives, he'll just regenerate, while Star Platinum will get more and more injured, harming Jotaro even more. The only edge they have is their time stop that Gojo really can't do anything against, and their immense gap in speed. Overall, Gojo does win, but it's not as simple or easy as you'd think. I definitely want to talk about Part 3 Jotaro vs Teen Gojo. It's a lot closer, and I really like the dynamic between the two. I want to make a series of Jujutsu Kaisen versus JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. My next matchup of this series will be Sukuna versus Dio. I have other ideas like Choso versus Risotto, Cars versus the Disaster Spirits, Megami versus maybe the Morio Warriors, etc. Definitely give me some ideas. And I also got to reread Steel Ball Run because I stopped a quarter way through a couple years back and I got to read JoJolion. So, be kind to yourselves and each other. Thanks for watching.